Happy Tuesday. It's time for your Choose Joy message with Dr. Avril Monique. I hope that you had a magnificent Make It Work Monday and that you are invested in a Turn It Around Tuesday. Today's message is about empathy. Empathy is when you're able to see the world through the eyes and experience of another without trying to imprint your own experience onto theirs or tell them how they ought to do it. Just see it through their eyes. And I'm going to tell you why I picked it. I have a student who is he was having a struggle, and the adults who were tasked with caring for him were struggling to get him to do the work that they had for him to do. And I thought to myself, how important is that work right now compared to what this child is going through? So I invited him to, I asked him, hey, what do you want to do? You want to do this? You want to do this? You want to come to my office? You want to talk? You want to do your work in my office? And he said he wanted to do his work in my office. And he came and he had his computer. And, this is the second time this has happened. One time last year, one time this year. And of course, he turned off the assignment that he was doing. It was the end of the day anyway. And he started to share all these different facts with me. And, he shared with me that, I always ask my students how they're feeling. He already knew that. And he said, I am feeling, I'm tired, is what he said. And I said, baby, are you physically tired or are you emotionally tired? And he said, I'm emotionally tired. And of course, that touched me. And then we went on about, he shared several things on the internet, all these little factoids about countries that we couldn't visit, some for political unrest. He shared with me BTS, a group in Korea. He shared with me some dogs, a Portuguese water dog and a Spanish water dog. And one of them was $2,000. And I was like, I wouldn't do that. And then he shared with me about his mom. We talked about my son, and he asked me because he had his picture and something he said. Oh, he said a kid in his class said that he's going to get married in 15 years. And I said, well, how old is the kid? He said, 9 or 10. I said, well, if he's 9, he'll be 24. If he's 10, he'll be 25. And then he asked me how old I was when I got married. And I told him how old I was. And I told him how old I was when I had my son because I was 25, the age that the student said that he wanted to get married. And then he told me how old his mom was and that his mom had just had a birthday. And then, interestingly enough, his mom's birthday was last week. It was 1 week to the day after my birthday. And he said, what year she was born in. And I said, oh, well, she should be 41. He was like, no, she's 39. I said, well, she was born in 82, not 1980. Just having a conversation, that's what I do. And then he said, my mom's dad died. And I said, really? When did that happen? I'm sorry to hear that. When did that happen? And he said, last week. On the 5th. I said, really? I said, wow, I'm really sorry. He said, yeah, my mom cried. And my brother and I hugged her. I said, did that make her feel better? And he said it did. And it was what I try to do with my students is just that. I try to see the world through their eyes. And then I can be patient and compassionate and loving, even when they are being maybe difficult and challenging and don't want to do the work. I know that's what they come to school to do. I tell kids all the time, what you come to school to do? To learn. How do you learn? By doing work and doing what we ask. That's right. But sometimes we got to let them take a break. Let them make it. Because as adults, we get to do that. We get to take off. We get to take a break. We get to do those things. And oftentimes our kids do not. I told you that story because that's what inspired me to include empathy in the email today as the topic of the day. Now I want to talk to you about empathy. Empathy is, again, when you can see the world through the eyes of another, through the experience of another, and you don't try to talk them out of it. Oftentimes people think, to tell you that things could be worse. Be grateful for what you got because things could be worse. And they always could be. And I always tell you that practicing gratitude, when you're practicing gratitude, that sadness and the depression and the anxiety and the stress can't exist in the same place. So I'm all for that. It could always be worse. Be grateful for what you have. And I'll be honest with you, there are many times when I think just that. You have a beautiful home. You have friends who love you. You're beautiful. You're intelligent. You're successful. You are resilient. You are strong. You are creative. You are loved. You are valued. All of those wonderful things. you know. And a lot of times that can pull you out of whatever you're in. But sometimes, whew, that hole is big. And you got to do a little bit more work on feeling that. Because you can go from gratitude practice to gratitude practice to gratitude practice, and it just, drop a pebble, drop a pebble, drop a pebble, and then, it just never fills up. And then oftentimes we find ourselves looking outside of ourselves for something to fill us up. We look to some substances to fill us up, and then we find out, we look to food to fill us up. We look to other people to fill us up, and that's dangerous. You got to be able to fill it yourself. So that means you got to be able to dig deep and do some work, and do some inventory. But what I will say to you is, oftentimes you do have to put yourself in the shoes of another person and see it through their eyes, to just kind of shake you out of your catastrophizing. How bad things are for me. Woe is me. Life is hell. Well, you know what I tell you. If you're going through hell, keep going. Like, don't sit there and burn. Keep going. You got to decide one day to wake up and say, okay, now I need to turn on problem solving mode. I felt this. I know what it is. I know what's causing me this pain. I'm either going to remove it, I'm going to solve it, I'm going to do something about it, but I ain't going to sit here with it. I ain't going to let it kill me. I ain't going to let it destroy me. You got to know that. And once you decide to do that, then you do some work on it, And in the email today, I tell you about journaling through, your pain, journaling through what's working and what's not. I'm about to work on a journal today about the things that I've lost, or the things that have changed. In fact, forget that. I'm never going to call it again the things that I've lost. The things that have changed in my life that added value to me on one side, and on the other side, I'm going to do the things in my life currently that add value to me. They don't make me who I am, but they add value. That's my new term, adding value. How does this situation add value to me? How does this person add value to me? How does my job add value to me? How does whatever it is I have that I am choosing to spend time and energy on, how does it add value to me? And I know that when I get on the other side of this work, man, I keep telling myself, when I get on the other side of this work, y'all better watch out. I better watch out. Some fantastic stuff on the other side of this work. And that's the way you always got to see yourself. There's some fantastic stuff on the other side of the work that you're willing to do on yourself. And I have to tell you yet again, how blessed I am to have the people in my life who I have in my life right now. I am exactly where I need to be, surrounded by exactly who I need to be surrounded by to do this work that I am gifted to do. And as I shared with one of my really, really good friends on Saturday, I shared it with my brother on Sunday. Sometimes we go through the hard times we go through to prepare us to help the next person who's going to go through that same hard time. Somebody said that to me, one of the beautiful souls in my life. That we're placed in relation to other people because they've gone through what we're going to go through. And they were put there to help us through it. And we go through what we go through because eventually somebody's going to be placed with us, and we are going to be tasked to help them go through it. What a beautiful, beautiful thought to have. That's all I got for you today, guys. And I hope that it blesses you as much as it has blessed me in my realization of it, and as much as it has blessed me to deliver it to you today. On Turn It Around Tuesday, I'm committed to turning it around, and I hope that you are committed to turning it around as well. So, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and give the world the beauty of your smile, because you feel better, you look better, and everybody around you feels better too. Take care.